Good evening. I'm delighted to welcome you to what is now becoming an annual event on our calendar at Observer Research Foundation and the Reliance Foundation to come to this city during this most important week that engages on matters of multilateralism, global governance, and indeed human condition to discuss development, SDGs, aspirations, livelihoods, and everything that is important and relatable to 8 billion people on this planet. South Rising, Partnerships, Institutions and Ideas is the theme of this evening, where we are going to engage with a stellar ministerial panel, and we are going to seek from them ideas, pathways, perspectives on where we are headed, and how do we get there. Before we do that, I want to invite our partners to come and speak to us who have made this possible. And we also want to take this opportunity to show you a short video of a publication we have put together on this occasion. I think all of you would have a copy available with you on your tables. And thereafter, we will invite our panelists for this evening and have that conversation. So without further ado, let me first invite our most important partner of this evening, Her Excellency, Ambassador Ruchira Kamboj, the permanent representative of India to the United Nations, to come and speak to us and get this evening going. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
The External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. Jaishankar, respected foreign ministers, distinguished guests, I extend a very warm welcome to this ministerial conversation titled South Rising, Partnerships, Institutions and Ideas, an event of paramount significance. In our ever-evolving world order, we find ourselves amidst a dynamic landscape. Old conflicts in Europe have resurfaced, prompting crucial discussions. The Indo-Pacific, with its vision of openness and freedom, faces intricate challenges. The global response to the health crisis has cast shadows over multilateral cooperation, affecting not just global health, but also the broader domains of development and climate change. And multilateral institutions, once bastions of collaboration, grapple with addressing contemporary challenges effectively. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi eloquently expressed at the Voice of the Global Summit in India in January 2023, most global challenges have not been created by the Global South, but they affect us more. This statement underscores the imperative for the Global South to be active participants in shaping global decisions. And India's bold proposal to include the African Union as a permanent member of the G20 mirrors the sentiment prevailing in the Global South. It underscores that peace, prosperity, and stability in the 21st century demand the presence of Global South voices at the decision-making table. And throughout our G20 presidency, India has initiated a series of impactful measures that seek to centralize Global South priorities in the international policy dialogue. Our G20 agenda champions substantial multilateral reforms, the pursuit of an equitable global trade system, green transitions, digital public infrastructure, sustainable lifestyles, and most notably, development led by women. The overarching theme of our G20 presidency, One Earth, One Family, One Future, succinctly encapsulates our aspirations and objectives. Foremost among our goals is to work tirelessly for the betterment of global citizens, with a special emphasis on the development of countries and communities. Our development paradigm is rooted in human-centric principles, and as our Prime Minister has affirmed, together we must endeavor to reshape global political and financial governance. This can rectify inequalities, broaden opportunities, foster growth, and disseminate progress and prosperity. Therefore, it is incumbent upon us to identify pragmatic, scalable, and sustainable solutions capable of transforming our societies and our economies. In closing, I wish to express my gratitude to the honorable ministers, US representatives, excellencies, and all our distinguished guests for gracing this evening's event. We are honored indeed to host this vital conversation in partnership with the Observer Research Foundation, the UN Office in India, and the Reliance Foundation. Thank you.
We are now going to take this opportunity to show you that video of the report and the publication that we have brought out. So can I request my colleagues to play that video on the screen? And post that, we'll have a couple of more short speeches. So can I play the video, please?
In a world where geopolitical, health and economic crises are challenging progress on development goals, India brought an exclusive and participatory approach to setting the G20 agenda. It brought more voices and perspectives than ever before, bringing a human-centric focus to the discussion, including livelihoods, health, education, gender. The Sustainable Development Goals are a story of the Global South. India is leading the way, developing solutions that are scalable and exportable for the Global South, sharing our experiences and acting as a lab to establish replicable models in areas of education, gender, equality, agricultural efficiency, environment sustainability, and healthcare, among others. And while we strive to make the world a better and more equitable place, our work doesn't end in 2030. We need to look even further ahead. The development story will need to continue with urgency. Now is the time to deliberate on the issues, stakeholders, and agile approaches that will be needed to shape the next iterations of the global effort to meet the needs of all. This is our journey with the world, a pathway where India shares its experiential value with the global community. Learn more through ideas, innovation, implementation. India's journey towards the SDGs, showcasing lighthouse initiatives from India that are contributing towards sustainable development goals and beyond.
To speak on this volume that we've brought out and on the effort that we are putting together, let me first invite Mr. Jagannatha Kumar, CEO, Reliance Foundation, India. Mr. Jagannatha Kumar, over to you.
A very good evening, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome on behalf of Reliance Foundation and our partners. The current status of the SDGs calls for new approaches and broader engagement, and it is important that the Global South takes the lead in shaping this strategy. India has a key role to play in this journey with the experiences that are exportable and shareable for others on the development ladder. In this context, today we take the conversation a step further on development approaches not only for the SDGs, but beyond 2030. Yesterday, as you saw, we launched this publication, Ideas, Innovation, Implementation, India's Journey Towards the SDGs, which is basically highlighting the lighthouse projects from India in the context of the SDGs, which could be actually paving the path for exporting the ideas to other countries as well in the Global South and the rest of the world. Those projects demonstrate the relevance of multi-stakeholder partnership that are inclusive and human-centric. The key thing is about the partnerships in terms of engaging not just the public and private sector, but also the communities and grassroots. Solidarity and empathy and interdependence and care for the planet need to be the underlying values of approach we take as we go beyond 2030. The next phase of development will need global, national, local, ultra-local organizations working with a bottom-up, inclusive approach beyond existing institutional structures. It's time to think of institutional frameworks that are agile, flexible, inclusive, and responsive to the emerging situations. Public and private sectors need to work even more closely with communities to deliver holistic development. The private sector plays a key role in bringing innovations and technology at scale to help realize development goals. I mean, India has demonstrated how the use of technology through the digital public infrastructure has delivered benefits to the large masses of people, hundreds of millions of people over the last several years. Businesses also flourish with this societal well-being. At Reliance, we care philosophy underlies everything we do, whether business or philanthropy, and that is done at scale. Our purpose is to strengthen India's prosperity and helping make the lives of 1.4 billion Indians better, hand in hand with India's vision for development. SDGs have three broad dimensions: social, economic, and environmental. Adding the fourth dimension of technology to those while framing the agenda for future will bring innovations to use at scale. That's what private enterprises can do. They can bring those innovations and they can bring the technologies to apply solutions for development. We also need to have knowledge commons for collective and shared futures. The post-2030 pathway calls for the South to rise, to lead a more synergistic effort to tackle intricate global dilemmas for a renewed dedication to welfare of the humanity in the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thank you, and we look forward to hearing the distinguished speakers this evening. Thank you.
Listen, I was just standing there on the side and looking at the room and I find the energy level low, so we have to bring it up. Okay? You're nearly as grey as the weather outside. So, listen, we've had a successful G20. We've had a communique that works. We've had development at the forefront of it. We've had the largest democracy in the world reserve seats in the parliament for women. It's time to celebrate this journey. It's tough and it's challenging, but we don't have to be grey. We can be agile and nimble, and we can be optimistic as we look to a better future. And to add some life to the room, because I've been speaking in English, Shombi is going to start speaking in Hindi. So Shombi, over to you. Shombi Sharp, the UN coordinator in India.
Well, okay, I don't know if that's a way to get energy up in the room. I'll have to deliver, but Honorable External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar, Ambassador Ruchira Kamboj, Excellencies here in the room, Samir and colleagues from ORF and our Reliance Foundation colleagues as well, good friends. It's an honor to be here on behalf of the United Nations in India. आपके बीच में आकर मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है. Friends, we've just come, some of us, the colleagues from the Government of India and some of the other excellencies here have just come from a very important discussion titled India and the UN for the Global South. And there we heard the heartfelt testimonies of many, of Prime Minister, of foreign ministers, of governments, giving the real personal testimony to India's human-centered development assistance. And I think that this truly elaborates the theme, the Global South. The South is rising. Ye samay dakshin ka hai. This is time for the Global South. And the message I delivered there is the message I want to deliver here because it bears repeating. For the last week, some blocks from here at the UN General Assembly, we've been hearing how the world is beset by crises, polycrises. And that's very true. But we were also hearing tonight, and we will hear again now, why there is an important reason to be optimistic. And that is because the South is rising, and that is because India is a strong new engine for achievement and delivering the SDGs. And this is the moment we need that engine. In fact, we can say literally, and the Secretary General said this in a recent visit to India, literally India is the country that will and can make the SDGs a reality. Upwards of 1/4 to even 1/2 of some of the global goals will need to be met in India. And the progress is astonishing. India is lifting millions, hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. And we see now the leadership of India bringing the voice of the Global South to the top tables. the G20 presidency, the unanimous New Delhi Declaration, which put the SDGs at the center. So much so, and some here are probably tired of hearing me say that, to me, India's presidency was an SDG20 presidency. So, I'm pleased to say, to conclude, that we in the United Nations system now are very much part of a two-way partnership in India, helping to identify Indian best practice, codify, and bring that to the international stage for the benefit of other countries. And we're very honored to sign a letter of intent of a new partnership agreement under the strategic guidance of the Government of India, and with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation as the anchor investor, together with the UN and India, to amplify Indian best practice, Indian South-South solutions for the benefit of the Global South. And to conclude, I will again invoke the words of the Secretary General on Tuesday at the conclusion of the SDG Summit, that the development to-do list, the SDGs, are not just homework. It is hope work. And action is the price of hope. And this is exactly what we are talking about tonight. Action with India and the Global South together, the true spirit of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the true spirit of Sate to Sambhav Hai. Together we can. Thank you very much. Bahut dhanyavad.